This is Betsy Wiersma, and a wonderful thing happened during COVID. We had a COVID baby. A baby, a COVID baby. What are we talking about? Well, while all of us were hunkered down and being safe and being socially distanced, 62 brave women came together to share their story. 62 women said yes to writing a 1,000-word essay to uplift and inspire the world. 62 women brought the ingredients of their best self. Those ingredients were perseverance. Those ingredients were joy. Those ingredients were, gosh, it's such a yummy mix, it's hard to even capsulize them. But they all had one thing in common. Those women with those yummy ingredients mixed together stayed in the crock pot for 4 months and became a most yummy stew. Welcome to the Stew Authors. We are so happy to greet everyone as we are here today, and we are so happy to welcome the world to hear some of the stories behind the scene of the stew. So this was going to be a live event, but because of the COVID opportunity, we get to have a virtual event. And since everything works out in our favor, I think the good news about this is we can be now here live on Facebook and record this so people can hear and meet some of our amazing stew authors. So next up, unmute yourself, Berni Slowey. And I got to tell you, there's only one person in the whole stew book that has 2 stories. 2 stories, and that's Berni Slowey. That is Berni Slowey. I got to tell you that is what she's got. So you should be able to unmute yourself. I hope that this technology is working. For those of you that are on Facebook Live and you're seeing these faces of these beautiful women on a Saturday and you're saying, who got up, came together and had all that energy? Those are the authors of the stew, Smart Talk Exceptional Women. It's a yummy, delicious mix of ingredients, and you're looking at the ingredients right here. They're all an ingredient. Some of them are hope, some of them are perseverance. Many of them are trust. Some of them are honoring what's true. And all of them are amazing people who have stepped up to be about you and how you and your life can thrive. Our next guest, Berni Slowey, takes the stage. Berni!
Hello, I am Berni Slowey, and I have a production company. I'm a filmmaker, and I also have a retreats business where I like to take women on transformational journeys.
Well, that's like such an easy way to say a whole lot of great things. I met Berni many, many years ago, but we have supported her in the Camp Experience Network as she has shown her movies there. She's told her stories there. She's been such a great camp sister. So Berni, which one of your 2 stories or both of them do you want to talk about today? Because don't tell the rest of the authors. You're the only one that has 2 because they were so good we couldn't cut either one of them. I'm sorry. Overachiever, you are.
I really appreciate that, Betsy. It's an honor to have 2 chapters in this stew, and each story has a differing perspective. One viewpoint is about my professional revolution, and the other is the sharing of my personal evolution as a mother. And both stories have similar themes of an unexpected journey, transformation, and having faith in our intuition. So Betsy, when you'd asked me to contribute the story about my movie making experience, taking a leap of faith after leaving a 20-year career as a bank executive from a toxic work environment, and it was during the Great Recession with no safety net to pursue a documentary project for the first time as a director producer, going through an identity crisis to follow spiritual teachers throughout India to get their wisdom. And coincidentally, right now, we're actually going through a lot of tough transitions right now with COVID and the pandemic. And so I think others will totally relate to this, whether it's losing a job, changing careers, whatever the case may be. But with the documentary, it was unraveling as the control freak perfectionist that I am. I'm also having a meltdown that happens to be captured on the camera. So that moment actually became the pivotal moment of changing the story of the spiritual teachers to sharing my story. So I titled it Then One Day in the context of how we hold off pursuing our dreams until one day when the conditions are ideal, when I have enough money, when I have more time, whatever the circumstances are that hold us back from stepping into our destiny. And to live fully and authentically, that earlier we were hearing from other authors. And so the idea and the concept of then one day was an act of literation of I did this, then it led to this, and then the next thing, which then, when we take action in our intentions, we witness synchronicity. And as a filmmaker, I see how movies are a metaphor for living, and it's what lens we choose to see our lives through. The script or the story we are wired to tell ourselves or that we believe, and then the action we take as the director of our lives.
Well, I want to fill in the blanks for the people who are meeting you for the first time, and just you casually said, I turned into a film director where I was going through a crisis and I became the star of my story, and they're all like, what? No, really, she walked into Mike's camera on Colorado Boulevard. We've investigated this story. We know the person that sold her the camera, and that's a big joke for all of us. It happens to be, can you believe this? Our friend Jen Jones from Camp Experience Network is the one that sold Berni her first camera when she was going to India to make a story about others that turned out to be a story about herself. And so that's kind of the backstory on how this super cool first film came together. But then you couldn't stand it. You also wrote a second story. And so I love that on so many ways because, as women, there are so many multiple plot lines, right? To use movie making jargon. And so tell us a little bit about, I love this title, Worst Best Mom. Worst Best Mom, because I think many of us go like, wow, she must not have any kids because she's a movie maker. She's probably just running around the world, having a cocktail, shooting out, with really fun actors, hanging out. But no. There's the truth to this story. So talk about Worst Best Mom.
Yes, well, the second story was emotionally inspired, and it represents the push-pull contradiction of my role as many mothers experience. I was really a reluctant mother because I had experience taking care of my own siblings, and I felt like the parent to them as well as the parent to my parents. And so I thought, why would I want to be a parent again? And coincidentally, my son was born in 2000, so I'm in my 20th year career of this role. And it was an evolution of how I embraced motherhood. And after having 3 consecutive miscarriages within 6 months during the time that I was in my corporate career, it was really the wake-up call that led to my decision to leave the toxic work environment and my corporate career. So Betsy, when you gave us the deadline for our chapters, it was right around Mother's Day. And 2020, I think, is a theme of just duality, and it's been full of paradoxes and irony. And so with this pandemic and the lockdown cancellations, at the time, my youngest, who was a senior in high school, and like his classmates, they had the letdown of missed milestones, the cancellation of prom and graduation. And I was grieving myself because I was in the second year of co-chairing after prom, and at the school, it was one of the biggest events to put on, especially by the parents. And we put in a lot of time and effort and money, and to have that canceled as well. And so, I think that I was going through this lack of, this victory lap that I wanted to be able to also experience with my son and with the other moms. So in this grieving, I realized, I'm going to become an empty nester. And I just had this opportunity to really reflect on what it was that those accomplishments per se, that I don't know that they're really accomplishments. It's just being a role of a mother and what we do to hopefully do the best that we can, and that our kids are going to be prepared when they leave, and that they're the best humans possible, and that I hadn't screwed them up too much.
and all the authors said amen on that, as we all said, yeah, how much have we all screwed them up? We got a big glad hands on that. Well, I think you can just even tell your movie maker perspective when you even talk about both of these stories. And to give a glimpse into the what happened, I love that people can read this, Stu, and really see true life stories that are real with no agenda other than to serve. And for you to say, I left corporate America, I apologized to my husband in a nice way that I was taking money and resources and leaving to go to India, not Indiana, that was India. It's an incredible picture of you at the Taj Mahal that we do have in the book. And then to also do the double duty and do Worst Best Mom. Berni, you are such a blessing. Thank you so much for your double duty in the Stew book. And we just are so looking forward to all of your next great films, but just your retreats and your contributions to women in the world are marvelous. And thank you so much for being part of this journey with all of us.
Thank you so much, Betsy.
So to end today, I want to do a shout out to our friend Cindy Tyler. She was not able to join us on the call today. Cindy Tyler's company, Vervante, is the publisher of The Stew. And this is how this worked. I was with a random person one day saying that I wanted to put my art into a card deck. And she was only sent to me for that interaction to tell me, have you heard of Vervante? It's a women-owned publishing company that helps people's dreams come true. And I never ever saw that person again, right? It's one of those angels that dropped into my life to deliver one purpose, to tell me about Vervante. So the great backstory is I call and I say, hey, I'm an artist. I have these angels I've been making. I like to make a card deck. And I've got a marketing idea. What if I put Vervante on the card deck? Can I negotiate a better deal in my printing? And the person on the other end of the phone says, yeah. And I said, well, don't you have to ask your boss about that, or, to get a better deal? And she said, I am the boss. This is Cindy Tyler. I'm the creator of Vervante. I love your enthusiasm. I would love to partner with you. I'll give you a good deal on your card deck. Let's go. And that was now before 2 card decks, 3 journals, 5 sets of cards, holiday cards, and the creation of The Stew. And this illustration is just to say to everyone listening that it's about the journey and the people you ask for help, right? Christy's got a curriculum, easy for me to say, curriculum coming out in 2021 when you might be listening to this podcast. It's because of everyone standing together that we help each other. We find the resources we need. And it's because of these amazing authors that we have The Stew. So just to recount at the end of our telecast today, The Stew is Smart Talk, Exceptional Women. It is a 200-page art and insight book. The art is mostly by me. There's a couple pieces by others. We can all hold up our Stew books. And the art was done in intention to create a really small book. But when I thought and prayed about it, I heard that book is about your girls. That book is all your girls. So everybody hold up your book. I'm going to snap a quick picture because we are multitasking. This is a so good picture. I got to wait for just a second as Christy gets her book. So this book was created to be a gift to people of the world. It is 62 stories of women who write uplifting insights and ideas, and it is available at campexperience.com/shop. That's campexperience.com/shop. And yes, it is arts and insights. This do Smart Talk Exceptional Women. And it is available at any time. It's available now. It goes to the Vervante bookstore, and you will be able to get your copy. We will have events in the future. Jill has a great idea about a book club event. Christy will help us join together and celebrate as a VIP event as soon as we can join together. And so many of the authors have such good work in the world. So check them all out on campexperience.com/the stew. And we appreciate all of the time and the energy for the authors coming together in this digital format. We appreciate the heartfelt sharing of your story. We appreciate your love and support for this crazy project. Again, we call out Megan Osgood, the organizer. We call out Carol Calkins and Carrie, her associate editor. We call out Melissa Labad, the amazing designer that made this happen. And we call out and say thank you to all of you who are supporting women coming together for art and insights for the world. This has been your hostess and Stew mother, organizer, curator, Betsy Wiersma, and the authors from The Stew. And we look forward to more times we can come together to share as we do good and have fun. Thank you so much for enjoying this call today, and have a wonderful, wonderful journey in your life, uplifted and inspired by others who are all here happy to help you.